At ease, soldiers. Sergeant Fury here. Hope everybody's having a great week, and if you get this week off, you're having a good time with friends and family. So, I always talk about Arma 3 all the time, right? As it turns out, we were just doing the Old Man DLC last week, which I'm going to continue this morning. And Arma 3 is on sale right now. Okay, so for 78% off, which is like a crazy price. So that's $16.98. Okay, so it's like crazy. You get the Apex edition, right, which you need. You get marksman, helicopter carts, and the basic game. Apex is the add-on, which is Tanoa and all that stuff. So for that type of price, man, $17 frickin' dollars. This game outshines Breakpoint 8 Ways from Sunday, and I'll show you why here. This video is from 2015. Well, this is 2013. The next one will be 2015. Yep, even the drones work like real drones. You can call in predators. That was from 6 years ago. The next one should autoplay. The next one's from 2015. Let's see if it autoplays or if I have to go back in and start it up. Here we go.
Since launching at the end of 2013, Arma 3's provided some unique and memorable gaming experiences to millions of players around the world. A combined arms military game for the PC with incredible scale, depth, and freedom, Arma 3 has a lot to offer its players. So, in celebration, we'd like to share just some of the things that we think makes our game special. Welcome to 33 Things About Arma 3. Let's kick off with some of the basics. The game features over 20 different playable vehicles, each modeled and configured in splendid detail. Plus, there's a selection of over 40 weapons to pick from.
Just in the base game.
Most of these are also customizable with a variety of scopes and other attachments. One of Arma 3's 2 Mediterranean islands, Altis, sprawls across 270 square kilometers of terrain. As you might imagine, there's a lot to explore, with over 1.6 million manually placed objects and 730 kilometers of roads linking together 50 towns, villages, and cities. The Republic of Altis and Stratus is populated by 5 unique factions. That includes NATO and CSAT, alongside the local AAF, FIA guerrillas, and the civilian population too. Each has their own motives, characteristics, vehicles, and weapons. If you find yourself pinned down, Arma 3's 15 different stances should help you get out of the line of fire, and of course return it. These stances help players to expose the smallest possible target to their enemy. Finding and holding good cover is more important than ever. Just take care to spot the difference between concealment and cover. Arma 3's ballistic penetration is affected by a wide variety of factors, such as weapon type and attachments, materials, caliber, and distance. In short, just because you're out of the line of sight doesn't mean you're out of danger. In Arma 3, sound travels at a realistic speed. You might see an explosion off in the distance before you actually hear it. You'll need to consider carefully how much weight you're carrying. Your choice of loadout greatly affects your stamina, which, in turn, has a knock-on effect on your ability to remain combat effective. You'll also find that weapons have distinctive characteristics. At close range, for example, it'll be much easier to handle an SMG than a sniper rifle, and a pistol lines up on target far quicker than an LMG. Our recent improvements to weapon handling mean that, in Arma 3 at least, bigger doesn't always mean better. Arma 3's real-time day-night cycle adds a lot of variation and challenge to the environment. Together with dynamic weather, a simple operation starting out on a sunny day can soon turn into something quite different. Plus, new effects like volumetric fog can completely change the complexion of any scenario. It can be easy to get lost on a massive island like Altis. With any luck, you've got your compass, but if you don't, the night sky features an accurate star map, which can be used to navigate. Watch out for the different kinds of wildlife on Altis and Stratus, ranging from goats to grass snakes,
Fucking killer
bunnies to
fucking
butterflies,
chickens.
and even sharks and sea turtles in the surrounding waters. Speaking of water, Arma 3 is the first installment in our series to feature diving.
Oh yeah.
Aside from using the STV to move around faster, you also have access to a rifle. Based off an existing prototype that fires special supercavitating ammunition, underwater combat is a reality in Arma 3. Just watch out for its limited range. Going from the sea to the sky, veteran pilots might have noticed that Arma 3 uses volumetric cloud technology. This means you can hide above and dive right through them. Arma 3 accurately simulates FLIR thermal imaging, which means vehicles get warm and dead bodies get cold. Even the landscape temperature differs depending on the time of day. If you're completely new to Arma 3, we recommend you start off with Boot Camp. Recently introduced in a free update, it offers up a single-player tutorial campaign, Zeus multiplayer training, and virtual reality training topics. For the game masters among us, we deployed the free Arma 3 Zeus DLC back in April 2014. Looking down upon the battlefield from a bird's eye perspective, game masters have the power to create and influence multiplayer scenarios on the fly. And Arma 3 content creators can also easily create and save single and multiplayer scenarios via the in-game scenario editor. Our editor is both simple and powerful. New users can set up a basic scenario in a matter of minutes. And it's also a great place just to play around in Arma 3's open sandbox. But for the more advanced creators among us, a library of over 1,500 script commands can be put to use and help create some truly unique gameplay. Custom content is at the heart of Arma 3. You can easily share and download player-created scenarios and add-ons via the Arma 3 Steam Workshop. So far, around 10,000 scenarios and add-ons have been published, and that number continues to grow
over
each
20,000
day.
now.
On top of that, last
Again,
year
it's been
Bohemia
4 years
Interactive
since
launched
this
the
came
Make
out.
Arma Not War content creation contest for Arma 3. Here, contestants stand a chance of winning some serious cash prizes, ranging from 20,000 to 200,000 euros. The results are expected
Which
to be
was
announced in
Red
a
Hammer
day.
Studios that
And of
came
course,
out with
if you're
the
not competing,
RHS
it simply
mod.
means there's going
They
to
were
be a
the
whole
winners.
bunch of splendid free new content
Everybody
for you to
uses
play.
RHS.
Alright, let's get back into
Notice
some
that's
more
one of the mods
specific
you're going to
game
want to have
details.
installed.
Unlike many other shooters, in Arma 3 you can look around by holding the Alt key. Your character will turn his head in the direction you're pointing. This is because, in Arma 3, your character's entire body is simulated. You're not just a floating gunhead. That also means you can switch between first and third person perspectives by using
On
the
the
default
fly,
buttons,
like, really
simply
easy.
pressing enter on the numpad. The game also supports head tracking software such as Trackia, which can, for example,
It also
completely
supports
change the
VR
experience
now.
of piloting a
You
helicopter.
can actually play this in
If a tank
VR.
detects that it's locked by a missile, it can deploy smokes. Aircraft can also deploy countermeasures in the form of flares. It's possible to configure custom clan insignia, which is visible on soldiers and vehicles. These insignia can also be useful in modes like Zeus. Recently, in a free platform update, we introduced the much anticipated ability to fire a weapon from a vehicle as a passenger. In addition, we implemented sling loading of cargo for helicopters. And for the true rotorheads, we've added an optional advanced helicopter flight model. More updates, new features, and splendid refinements to the Arma 3 platform are on the way. While a sniper rifle can take down a soldier from more than 1,500 meters, there's a chance that an incoming bullet will hit your target's weapon and get deflected. So, watch out for that bullet drop. Let's talk a little bit more about Arma 3's multiplayer. We think that this is where the sandbox truly shines. The game caters for massive all-out warfare with up to 100 players, depending on the scenario and server. Aside from the aforementioned Zeus multiplayer and our official Seize, Escape, and Support scenarios, there's an incredible variety of community-made games.
This is where Pug got his start. He originally was an Arma 2 player,
scenarios with
and then he
dynamically
made a
created
mod
objectives,
for 2, he made a mod
classics
where
like sector
Daisy
control
got
and
his start.
CTI, survival game modes with and without zombies, role-playing servers, and much, much more besides. So as we approach the end of this list, let's take a look at what lies ahead for Arma 3. Of course, we'll continue to support the game with updates,
which they've
and
come
we'll
out
release
with a
marksman
shitload in the
DLC
last
in the
4
first
years.
quarter of this year. After that, we'll unveil more details about a major expansion for Arma 3, plus perhaps a few more unannounced
That was
surprises
Apex
along the
that
way.
came out.
If you sign up to Arma 3's development branch on Steam, you can help us to test out new features. Here on Dev Branch, to the great credit of our hardworking teams, we release updates on an almost daily basis. More info is available on dev.arma3.com, where you can also find frequent updates about our ongoing development. Okay, to round off, let's check out this great visualization of artillery flying the entire route from gun to designated target. Although this list only really begins to scratch the surface of what's on offer, we hope it at least gives you some idea of what to expect.
howitzer.
Of course, the best way to experience it all is by playing. Head across to arma3.com to find out how. Alright, that just about wraps up our look at 33 things about Arma 3. So thanks for watching, and a big thanks to our community too. With your help, a lot's changed since Arma 3 launched. We hope you can look forward to even...
See, that was in 2015, that video came out. So again, the package is really good. It's 78%, $17 frickin' dollars. They only do this 2 times a year. So they do it at Christmas and they do it at their anniversary of when the game launched, which is in June. So they always start it like in May or something. So it would behoove you guys. This puts Breakpoint and everything else totally to frickin' shame, like 8 ways from Sunday. Okay. So you bought the game now, right? You're all excited. You get it loaded up. You're like, okay, fucking Sarge told me to get this game, and now I got it loaded up, and what the fuck do I do? Okay, you click on play. It's going to go ahead and fire the game up, right? Now, when it fires it up, you're like, well, what the fuck's going on? Right? Because you're going to have this launcher thing here that you're going to see, right? And you're like, wow, this is like, now what do I do, right? Okay, so like everybody, you're going to want to go through here and look at your little dashboard, right? And you're going to say, oh, what the fuck is all this shit, man? He didn't say nothing about this. Yeah, don't worry about that. News is as they come out with patches and updates, they're going to have them right here for you to read. Okay, DLCs are their add-ons. They've got 2 of them so far, which I haven't bought either one of them because they're not really worth it. And eventually they'll be like $5 frickin' dollars or something down the road. There's so much more to do in the game than these. So don't waste your money. Unless you buy the pack. There is a pack and you'll get them in the pack. So if you get them in the pack, then that's cool. All right. And then parameters are things that you want going on, and I would suggest show static background and skip logos at startup, which is their whole thingy majigger, right? Okay, mods, you guys don't have to worry about mods right now, right? I'll get into that. Some of the ones I suggest if you want to have, the cool thing is the game itself will tell you when you go pick a server, should you not have, you won't have any mods at first, right? But, so as soon as you go to join a server, it's going to say, subscribe. And it's going to download them from the workshop, Steam Workshop. Because, but off the top, just to let you know, you're going to want to have ACE and all the ACE extensions. So ACE, ACE3 extension, ACE compatibility, right? Just to let you know if you want to get them ahead of time, right? Okay. You're going to want to get CBAA3. Okay. All the cup terrain, Well, actually, it starts this way: weapons, vehicle, units, map, and then these are the Cup Core, and then the CWA, and then the Ace add-ons, right? So you got all the Cup stuff, right? Okay. And we'll come down here. And again, as you want to load up a map, and I'll show you guys how that all works, okay? You can get NIA Arms All-in-One and NIA Arms Core. And if you want, you get the H and Ks. He's added those in now, so most of the time you don't have to worry about it. But if you want to have, like 40 different 416s, some servers allow you to run any mods. Other ones only allow you to run the mods that they're running on their server, because you can run your own server. So not only will you have this front end, but there's a search engine I'm going to put a link in there to show you that you can go to that has a gazillion mods and servers and all that. At any given time, there's over 70,000 servers running in the world. So yeah, there's quite a few people that play this. Okay, RHS is the one I mentioned to you. That's Red Hammer Studios, right? These are on the workshop now, so you can just go pick them up from the Steam workshop. These are the guys who won the contest 4 years ago that you saw in the video, the 250,000 euros for the best mod, which is, they came out with the Russian Federation and the U.S., which is basically all the Russian vehicles, all the U.S., plus all the uniforms, all the weapons, all that shit, everything rocked, animated vehicles, you can roll the windows down, you can do all the, so right off the bat, you're going to want those. Okay, the rest of them, you'll pick up as they go on. So, but if you have those in there, most servers, that you're going to go find, use those. Now, okay. So moving on, BattleEye, yeah, you're going to have to run BattleEye. Don't try to turn that off or it doesn't work. Servers. At first, you're not going to have anything under favorites or recent or officials. And if you're on somebody's friend list and they have the game, they would come up there. Internet's going to pull up everything units, but you're not going to do any of that. What you're going to do instead is you're going to come down here and click on this little tab on the left that says play. Okay, because you're brand new to the game, and what you need to do is you need to learn the game first. Okay, the worst thing to do is try to go out and play a multiplayer and not know what you're doing, because you're going to get kicked off the servers, because most servers have active admin that monitor the servers. They won't be playing for the most part, but they'll be monitoring stuff, or there'll be people that'll be playing on there that will be. Yeah, that's the fastest way to get booted, man. Off of a server is not knowing what you're doing. It's like trying to drive the Indianapolis 500 and you just got your learner's permit for a car. Okay, so what you do is you click on that play. Now, what it does is it starts up the Arma game itself, okay, which is how we used to start the game a few years ago. The game used to start up this way. Okay, we never had that launcher. That launcher that you saw, okay, is something that they added a couple years ago to make it easier to find servers and load mods and all that, because this way you have to sort of preload everything, okay? But what you're going to be concerned about is tutorials, okay? You're going to come over here and you're going to do your boot camp first, right? Or you can do, well, I would suggest VR training first. VR is like a VR world, and that teaches you about the weapons, about the about everything basic in the game, right? So you don't have to worry about completing all of them. The more you do, that's great. The helicopter, I never did except for the basic helicopter, but as long as you do the basic weapons and grenades and rocket launchers and mines and controlling squads and that crap will give you an idea. Then you go to boot camp, right? Do your whole boot camp, okay? Now, once you get done with that, you do VR boot camp. Then you're going to come over here to single player and you're going to click on campaign. Okay? Then you're going to start right here and you're going to work through the whole chingadera. Right? From the prelude, you're going to start here, right? And it's going to say, you know, you're going to go here, reality check, and you're going to click on that, and you're going to work your way through all these missions, right? And the reason you're going to do this is because it's going to give you a good idea of what's going on in the whole game. See, I still haven't, they added these since I've owned the game, so I never completed it yet. So, but that's, you know, so you definitely, and they reduced this when we first bought the game in 2013, there was more, there's like 40 missions or something, so it actually rocked in that sense. But you need to come over here and do all these, trust me. Go through all this crap. It'll be good because it basically sort of walks you through everything that's going on, you know, and it gives you an idea of how to do stuff, right? How, you know, so, you know, it's a great experience, and then that way you have a better idea, in one sense, of what's going on in multiplayer. You know what I mean? You don't have to do this. You can just try to go and do the virtual training and boot camp and go right into multiplayer, but that's the single. Now, the other things you want to do are showcases. Showcases are actually quite important. Other than boot camp, I would do this, guaranteed. And the reason is it's going to teach you how to follow your leader and move through the valley to support friendly squads. You're going to do a whole scuba mission. You're going to do vehicle handling, helicopters, combined arms, commanding, which is how to command a group of AIs. Because here you can command individual AIs. It's not like Ghost Recon Wildlands. Then you got night, you have support, you got tank, armed assault, drones, gunships, the NATO. You're going to see how the different forces act. So you're going to get to play the bad guys and the good guys. Fixed wings. Zeus is how you control a mission and how you control assets and do things. So in real time, you can join a server and have a Zeus slot, and you can get in that, and you can actually control what's going on in real time. You can help your side. You can put enemies down. You can do, you know what I mean? So it's like, this is if they did this with Ghost Recon Wildlands, that fucking game would be so popular because it's perfect for this. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, this has been around for 2015 since Zeus. Okay, sling loading, firing for vehicles, a whole marksmanship in-game, your VTOL aircraft, fighter jets, the IDAP Laws of War, and tank destroyer. Right? So you can do all those, right? Then you have challenges. Challenges are firing drills and time trials, right? And they're really cool because there's several courses that you're going to actually go on and do different firing trials, right? And then what's cool is you can compete against your friends, right? So they have all these firing courses that you get to go on. They got sniper ones, obviously for people who are snipers. Time trials are cool because they have these little carts. Now, they came out with carts just as a fun way of saying thanks to everybody. So there are these little go-kart tracks, but you can find these in a lot of servers, so you can drive these all around the whole fucking island. But they do have, and then they have helicopter time trials, the IDAP, see how fast you can get down different roads and fly your little drones, tank ones. So yeah, this is one of the tanks you get to drive. That thing's like really small, it's the size of an SUV. So those are in the game. They have armed and unarmed ones, and so you get to do this. So there's a lot of stuff going on, right? To do all that, do all these campaigns. You can even go check out the editor before you go to multiplayer. But again, multiplayer, instead of doing it here, right? Because you're just going to come here and do all that, right? Here you can also change, because this is very important. See how you can come over here and you can come down here and click on your name? This is how you change your character. If you come here and click on it, it doesn't change your name. You got to physically come here and then you can click on your profile because you can have multiple profiles in this game. And that's how you do that. Okay, where it says quit the game, right? If you click back on that, what it's going to do is it's going to take you back to the launcher. Okay? Does all this make sense? Right? And the launcher runs off the desktop. See, Steam is running and this launcher runs. Okay? So that's how this all works. Okay? So you get that to that point. Then to actually quit the game, you have to come up here and actually click on this again one more time. And then it's going to actually quit the game. Alright, so that's how all that works. Okay, now we're going to go do real quick the last part of this because now you're going to want to go get your feet wet because I know people are going to want to do that. Okay? Now, depending on what type of game you want to play, I would say the best thing to do is start with official servers first and play like Apex Protocol and those, right? So you come over to filters and you come over here. Right, these are all the different types of frickin' games you can, game styles you can play. King of the Hill, which is exactly like Pug, which is there's 100 people, and you kill everybody till you're the last person, except for you got a frickin' 240 square kilometer island and real military weapons to do it. And no bunny hopping and all that bullshit. So, what you can do is, they have it where it says... any of these, right? Where these are the official, right? Okay. So if you come over to here, right, and you click on official servers only, right, it'll actually pull up these games right here, right? If you go any, hold on, let me do this for you. I unclick this. Apex Protocol, in-game escape, these are all forms of the game. So you go Apex Protocol. Usually the easiest thing to do is just say any. Okay, and then let's see what happens here. Hold on. Okay, then what you're going to do, you're going to come and do... Let me see. Oh, you know what? I see how they did it. Hold on. I didn't even notice this, folks. They have an official tab. What do you know? Wowie zowie. Alright. I guess that's makes it more... This is what you want to do first. You want to come over here and do these. Now, Apex you want to do because there's... God damn it, man. There's how many Apex ones? There's like... I can't remember now how many Apex there are. Remember I told you there's Zeus missions that you can join, right? Where one person is actually controlling the scenario as Zeus. Warlords is a really cool one. This is like sort of a player versus player style that they have now, where you got to control certain parts of the island as you try to take over the other part of the island from the other dudes. So I think it's because I have my filters turned on. Oh, no. How lie. Yes. Yeah, just taking a few minutes, that's all. So, oh, here it goes. See, I knew it would like get all crazy here really quick. There, now it's. So again, these are the official ones that Bohemian runs, and what you want to do is you want to go by ping, obviously, because that's the closest one to your house. Anything over 100 for me would be over in the out of the United States. It'd be in Europe or some other place. So, but they do run in the United States, and depending on what part of the United States it is, you might find other ones, right, or the same ones. But this will give you a chance to run on the official servers first. I just did it by game type because it's easier for you guys to follow since you're brand new. You know, Zeus is the ones, again, somebody can control it. In game is, they're all fun to play. And I would suggest, again, if you go here first, because most of the time, this is where you're going to have more fun at first because there are going to be a lot of people here that can take you under their wing. You know, because you'll find gentler, kinder people over here instead of out on the dark net side of the world, right? This is the side that gets really rough, kids. Now, but real quick, the way this works is there's these little green dots, right? Which means that there's no mods required. That says partial data or additional mods. This orange one means that I need that mod, right? I'm missing that mod. So when you click on a server, right, once you got in the real world here, okay, you want to click on where it says more detail, right? Because it's showing you available missing. I'm missing 6 mods. Okay, so when you do this, and I pardon my screen, but the their app doesn't match my desktop, which is running at 4K, and their app isn't. So it's going to look a little dorky here until I adjust it a little bit. It's something a lot of these guys need to, start doing is getting their app, because they're all set at 1080p still. Okay, so I have all these in my library, right? So as you come down this list, then you're going to see one that I don't have. Remember I told you it says subscribe, right? And these are your options. It says, if it says subscribe, that means it's already found it on the Steam Workshop for you, right? Which most of them are going to be like that, okay? So you just go ahead and don't even F with it at all, right? Here's RHS. Here's all the cup stuff. Remember I told you about cup. I told you about ace, right? All these good things. Okay. So here's your ace, advanced combat environment. See, so this is the only one that I would need. Okay. So to play on this server, right? And it says missing DLCs, but I may not need that. Okay, that's used by the server, but that doesn't mean I need it. Okay, this is what's required. Okay, so don't get sucked into buying some add-on from the store, right? Because it says that. Because Bohemian is like most companies, they do sell games. So all you're going to do is say, set up DLC and mods and join. At that point, it's going to subscribe to this and automatically install it, right? It'll go into your mod file, right? So if you do this, click on this, see, now it's going to go over there and download this aviation pack, fire wheel, whoever the hell, some pack they said I need. And again, depending on your download speed, this may take, a little bit of time, a lot of time. I have mine capped right now. And it goes, looks like it's starting to speed up a little bit for us. I could uncap my download right now, but which I might do. Oh my God. Alright. Well, should make it a little faster. So, in the meantime, so yeah, it must be a pretty big pack. I've never See, this is how you end up with downloads. So with with a lot of mods, and you're not gonna necessarily use them. So when you're done playing on this server, you always have to go back to your mods and click on unload mods. Right now, you can do presets. If you like this server, you can do a preset. So that way, when you go to join this server, but not all servers run the same maps. A lot of servers rotate maps, but they try to keep the same mods, all the time. So this way, even though you may be playing on a different map, but not necessarily. So this is telling you what they're using at this moment that they're actually playing. You may come back here tomorrow and you may bookmark this one, say, I like this server, I like this, and they may be playing a different map, but the same mods. You know what I mean? You won't have to continually download them, but you have to be aware that the base game is quite large, and by the time you start adding all these mods on, because you're going to keep them, but for the most part, people aren't going to, you're not going to load them up and then delete them and reload them again another day. You're just going to leave them loaded, obviously. So that's going to require, at least 150 gigs of space you're going to want to leave. Because at first, I think the base game is 60 something now, for sure. Because I know mine's about 110 or 115 with all the mods I have. So it can get up there, like RHS and some of those are quite large. They're 5 or 6 gigs. And this one's obviously 5, this is 5.8 gigs. So this is quite a large one. So this is obviously, when it says aviation pack, that means it's going to be a lot of helicopters and, planes and all that, which is cool. So it is actually downloading in the background here. See? You can actually close that little window up because it is downloading. And what it'll do is, it'll actually at that point load up the game for you. You know what I mean? It'll take a few minutes. I'll show you how this all works and stuff. So since the video is already this long already, I had done this prior, but I thought I'd do another brand spanking new video this morning before I get to anything else. So, and if you leave any comments about, oh, this is way too long, or you're long-winded, or you could have said all this in 5 minutes, I'm not quite sure how I could have, but I do get those comments sometimes. So say your spiel and then move on. The people that are interested in this are going to be the ones that are going to watch the whole video and know what I'm doing. So this way they're not lost the first time they start up the game, because it can be very intimidating. This is why I always suggest, when you first start it up, don't worry about all the tabs on the left, the tabs across the top. Just click on play, go to the VR trainer, go to boot camp. Boot camp is new, and the reason they have that is too many people in the community were complaining that people are buying the game and jumping on servers, and they literally did not know anything. They didn't know about the arsenal. They didn't even know how to open up the versatile arsenal. They didn't know, they didn't know how to do anything in the game. But they could talk because they had no trouble doing that, but they didn't know how to talk correctly. Like, there's like group channels and side channels and global channels and all that, right? And there's an etiquette to how you talk. So if you're playing in a group with a group of people, right, you'll learn about that later on as you join. Most people now are using Discord, and people still use TeamSpeak. So you may or may not, be speaking to people via those services. Depends on how they do it. TeamSpeak is a whole service that people use because it's integrated with the radios that we use. We use Task Force Radio, which allows you to set up frequencies, right? So you can have short range frequency, long range. You can have command channels, aircraft, artillery support. You can have people on different frequencies, so we're not on stepping. Even in the game, if you're not within so many meters of people that you're playing with, you lose communication with them too. Radios work just like they work in the real world for the most part. So you might end up having to load those mods and then load TeamSpeak, which is a desktop app. Because what'll happen is as you go into the game and you're already in the TeamSpeak channel that these people are using that you're playing with, it'll kick you down into a lobby that will recognize that you're running that mod. See, and then what happens is when you die, it turns off your radio. So this way you can't talk to anybody and say, I'm here, I'm whatever, because it's like real world, right? If you're down and unconscious, you ain't tell anybody where you're at. So the combat lifesaver dudes and people in the game got to figure out where you're at, because you disappear on the little screen too. Your little icon disappears off our map. So, and there's helmets where it integrates what you're seeing. It's an advanced combat helmet system with an HD 1080 HD cam, right? Like they use in real combat. And what happens is you can cycle through that, and instead of having a GPS map, you can have a little camera and see what your squad mates are seeing. See, so if you're like a team leader and you got, so many guys underneath you, you can have everybody wearing those helmets in the game. And then that way you can cycle through and see what they're seeing as you're playing. So this is a very cool game to play in the sense that there's a lot of fun, but there's a lot of stuff going on, so it is a little bit of learning curve. So don't get intimidated. A lot of people get intimidated and they crash and burn because you're going to map most of the keys on your keyboard. So you do need a keyboard and mouse. You're not going to play this with a controller. You can fly with a controller and drive, because I use a steering wheel and pedals to drive. And you can use a joystick, is definitely recommended for the aircraft, but a lot of people learn how to fly with a keyboard and mouse, but the game is set up literally to use a joystick, or a yoke, or with the throttle and the rudder pedals and all that. Oh yeah, you can get that sophisticated in the game. Oh yeah. So if you just want to take off the aircraft carrier and go bomb shit and then come back and then get it, get caught up by the resting cable on the hook, and then get primed back up again with all your shit and get relaunched back off. Yep. So there you go. See how that loaded that mod up, right? I know I got to do this every time. It's a pain in the butt. I'm going to look. There might be a file that I can go in there and change how this whole thing is done, but I don't think so. Just something you got to put up with. Okay, so see, now it's got that one loaded up. The reason I closed that is because I didn't want it to join the game. If you click on close, it'll still download for you. So now I got them all downloaded, right? So now at this point, I could go ahead and, what's going on? Good morning, Mr. Dan. Okay, well, guess they didn't want to talk to me. They hung up. Okay, so at this point, you could go ahead and click on set up DLCs and mod and join, right? Because it would have loaded. So again, if you're brand new and you want to join this server, it would automatically load cups, see? And it would load RHS, and it would load ACE, and it would load CBA, because people are like, oh, how do I load all that? Well, you're going to do it from the workshop, or you're going to do it this way. If you decide to do it this way, that's a lot of freaking downloading right there. You're looking at 30 gigs. So don't expect to, so it's better to preload all this crap up as you got time and you're not doing anything, you're not gaming. You got to go to the workshop and subscribe, which you can. You can just go subscribe to all these at the Steam workshop. They're all over there. This way, you won't do what, you won't come over here and say, oh, well, Sergeant Fury told me just to pick a server that has all those on there. And oh my God, I did that. And it's like 6 hours later, 8 hours later, I'm still, downloading. So I'm letting you know ahead of time. Right? Okay. Now, what you can do is you can say you find a server that you like. At that point, you can put a little star next to it, right? When you put a star next to it, what happens is it shows up underneath your favorites list. Okay, so you'll see after a second that'll refresh, and that Apex one will come up over here. The reason I don't play on their Apex servers is they're very restrictive, man. You got to go check in with people and do what they say, and it's a little bit too military-ish. I don't really. If you want to do that, there's a lot of groups out there that you can join and do all that. See, here's that Apex one right there. See, so I'm going to uncheck them because I really don't want them. Okay, and then you can also, again, once you get people that you know that are playing. Now, lots of times this doesn't work. You know what I mean? There'll be people that are actually playing that that are playing, but they won't come up here, so don't get all freaked out when that happens. You just have to coordinate with them and find the server, and then you can search, put the server name up here, whatever the name is that comes up over here, right? Because you're going to, all these different freaking names are going to come up here. So whatever that name, you say, oh, I'm on Asylum Training Sandbox or whatever, right? Because you may not have it under your favorites, or you may be under your favorites, and you say, "Oh, I'm on Black Ops Mercenary." So as they go over here under Friends and type that in, it'll say, "Oh yeah, I see that. Okay, cool," and then they can join that server with you. So, but that's going to be later on after you do all that other stuff that you need to do first, right? Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so like I said, it's for sale over on the store. So jump over there. Here's the workshop. Once you get the game, okay, you say, okay, well, Sarge said to go to the workshop, right? Click on that little tab. It's going to take you over here, right? And here's your cup stuff, right? Here's because I'm following these, right? But cup, you're going to want, don't worry about interiors for cup. You just want cup itself, right? Because it's going to be very overwhelming because there's literally thousands of these frickin' mods and stuff over here. So just look for the ones that I said. Just type in cup, C-U-P, right? Hit enter. Okay, and here you go. Cup vehicles, cup units, cup weapons, right? Don't worry about interior. So what you do is, this is the easiest way to do that. Click on the first one. Okay, when you go there, right, you're going to click on subscribe, right? Then required CBA, cup weapons, cup units. You see how this works? That's their other ones that they have. So this way you'll make sure you have everything that you need. I have ones because they've changed them. That's why I have cup core and all that stuff now, right? Does that make sense? And you can follow these guys too. See, community upgrade project. See, you come over here and click on their name, and that'll show you all the ones that you need right here. Okay, cup terrains, cup maps, cup core, cup units, cup vehicle, cup weapons, CBA, right? This is what started it all. Community-based add-ons. This is started years ago, man. So that's how you get to these guys. Okay, community upgrade project. You want those guys for sure, 100%. All right, makes sense. Okay, and you can put them under your collection. Bam. Okay. Now the other one, remember I told you need is RHS, right? Red Hammer Studios, right? Right, so come over here. Here's RHS. That's not it. These are guys who've done mods. Hold on. Hold on. See, this I can get a little tricky sometimes. So you want to type in red hammer. Do it that way. Oh, you mother effers, man. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's it. That's not it. I'm telling you, this is why sometimes you run into a problem. With actually pulling up the actual company. So this is sort of good you guys are seeing this. God, this is killing me. You guys are killing me, man. Here, oh my God. See, most subscribed. Thank God. See, Red Hammer Studios. Why I wasn't pulling it up, I don't know. But yeah, you need these. Those four for sure, guaranteed, 100%. Click on the first one. When you click on the first one, it'll actually, you can come here. See, there's a collection. If you come to the collection, it'll take you to all four of them. And you just click on subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. So you got to have those. God damn, man. Fucking pissing me off. Alright, one more time. Remember I said you want ACE? Advanced Combat Environment. Let's see. Here we go. That came up by very first one. Good. You gotta have ACE, okay? So, boom. Subscribe to ACE. Those will pretty much get you by between having CBA, A3, all the cup, right? ACE and Red Hammer Studios. That's just the start. Those would be good. The reason you want ACE. I know it's turned out to be a long video, but it matters the way it is. See, that's what you can do in this game, man. Can't do that shit in other games, huh? Nice. Good shot, man. Tactical scope adjustment. You can adjust your windage for sniping. See, now this guy's gonna snipe. There he goes. He's got his crosswind. He's got his elevation. Set all that up. He's telling his crosswind range. Bam, that guy's toast. These are all the things you can do. You can do marking, find all your teammates. Oh hell yeah! Gonna plant this. Nice. Uh-oh. Man down, man down. Do some field dressing on them. Oh yeah, it takes a lot more than just one Band-Aid, man. Oh yeah, it has a shitload of gestures in here, so you can do total movement at night with no talking. We got infrared, we have strobe flashers, so everybody infrared flashers, we can all see each other. We know who the good guys are, who to shoot, who not to shoot. We put a strobe flash on our vehicle, that way some dummy won't shoot us. Or put chem lights. You can also surrender. There's so much to do in this game, guys. So just real quick, that's why, you want to have Ace and stuff too. Ace is like, it's a lot more than all this, but so anyways, that's the whole thing. Like I said, this is why, Arma 3 rocks, and after 6 years, it's still got, like 15 million people that play it around the world. Versus a lot of other games, so because there's so much to do. So again, like I said, fire the puppy up. It's over at the store. Like I said, for sale. One more time. Great, super great price. Blows the hell out of all the other games. The only other game that's more fun than this, as far as like what a lot of crap to do. Let me turn this off. Crap. A lot of stuff to do would be like Red Dead Redemption 2. Something like that. I mean, as far as like the amount of weapons and all the stuff you got to do, because you can get into all that in here too. You know what I mean? If you want to do the whole survival thing, they have the whole thing with, you can do player versus environment, player versus player versus, everything. So again, great deal. I know it's a long video, but hey man, it's like there's a lot of stuff to cover in this game, and you can't do it in 10 fucking minutes. It's impossible. So anyways, I'm going to fire this up today for real here and do some stuff online. I'm still rocking on my DLC right now that just came out called Old Man. It's a free DLC, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to be rocking that. So until I see you then, as always, this is Sergeant Fury. Have a great New Year's if I don't hear from you. And as always, at ease, soldiers.